Here we go, looking for the start. Chris Hopkins looks them over as they head for the line, and we're underway. John Johnson with a good start. 3 abreast in several rows, so keep an eye on that first turn. Everybody squeezing through, and I mean squeezing. John Johnson leading the way. Croto running second. Priest has moved up into third place. Gautreau is now running fourth. And he now challenges Priest for the number 3 position. Don Wood gets crossed up, loses a couple of spots, but keeps running in car 51. Off the 4th turn, to the line once again. It will be Johnson, Croto, Gautreau, and Priest. Mayberry running 5th, followed by McLean and Bennett. Off the 2nd turn very smoothly. Field starting to bunch up from the 4th spot back. Tom Butler gets on the binders, but he's okay. 3 laps down. 17 remain. Johnson way up into the marbles, loses ground to Bernie Croto, but manages to keep the lead. Herb Bennett moving up on the inside. And he's got the number 4 spot. Good job being done by Bennett.
But Ronnie, look at the traffic jam behind the 4th spot, and they are so close. There is nothing to choose between them. The first 3 placemen are pulling well away from the remainder of the field. 4 laps being completed by the field now. But from 5th place to about 18th place, there's nothing to choose between them. And I think we're going to lose quite a number of cars here, because on turn 3, if you can see through that great big cloud of dust, I think we have a busy parking lot on the apex of turn 3.
One of the cars pulling away under his own power. We'll see who that is.
And another one, which was at the back and managed to chuck overboard the anchor just before any contact was made, so he rejoins. But we've got half a dozen. I haven't got time to run down there, Ronnie, till I came out, that I'd noticed Gene McLean hanging out his tail coming out of turn 4 on 3 consecutive laps. So I thought, now, has he got slight deflation of one tyre? As you know, I work infield on that particular series. To watch the pit crews at work is fantastic. I take a stopwatch with me always, and time 4 brothers. I can't remember their names, unfortunately, but I have never in my life. It was split second. It was a joy to watch. And Bernie Croto up front. First 2 places, 4 laps completed of this, what's it, a 20-lapper?
Yes, and before we get underway, Tom Tagg, you're wanted in the infield as quickly as is humanly possible. Tom Tagg to the infield, please. Okay, here we go, looking for the restart, and there we go, Barry. We're back underway, and once again, Johnson gets a slight jump. Let's see how he fares coming out of turn 4. Croto right there, but it's Johnson leading the way. And look at Gautreau diving under Croto in the bid for 2nd place. He'll even bid for the lead out of turn 2. Who will it be? Johnson at the moment. And here comes Gautreau. A little tap on the rear bumper. Johnson knows he's right there. And we've got 5 laps in the books. Anybody's race right now, and once again, the field really bunches up. Look at this. Once again, you can put a whole number of cars under a blanket. Gautreau with the lead now, taking over from our early leader, and Gautreau starts to pull away. Johnson still holds 2nd, Croto 3rd, being challenged now by Tim Smith in the 81. And all of a sudden, Smith drops right off the pace as we have some contact a little further back in the pack. Vim Adams and Herb Bennett involved in that one. Gautreau, Johnson, now Brad Boissonneaux moves into 3rd place. And out comes the caution.
And Herb Bennett comes to the infield. We have 2 passing the start-finish line. Who's that, number 4?
Tom Butler made a little contact. Now, we'll see what happens on this restart. Brad Boissonneault running third, and Scott Hanks in fourth spot in car 25. Then we go to Bernie Croto in the 99X in fifth place. Tim Smith runs sixth. He's in car 81. Cliff Stakey running seventh in the 66 Connecticut. All right, let's see if we get our restart now. The pit gate closes, and we're ready for the restart. And we're underway once again. Now Boissonneault right away takes over the number 2 spot from Johnson. Everyone safely through turn 2. A little bumper tapping going on in the middle of the pack.
And Rich Godfrey is finding himself very, very closely challenged now because Brad Boissonneault is right on his tail, waiting for an opportunity to get through, and I think he has got just a little horse under the hood, enabling him to get through, giving him a little more speed, just a little, and in fact he does exactly that.
Tim Smith with a great move.
And, we have a sideways, and we have contact. That's got to bring out the yellow flag. This is that 35, I do believe, Mike Carabino, I should say.
It looks like it might be the 25, Barry. Yeah, Scott Hanks, it is.
It is
25.
Right.
He was running well, too. It's an unfortunate break for him. He gets back into the action, but he's going to be well off the pace, and he has a flat left front tire.
But Brad Boissonneault is really holding that lead, but he is being challenged all the way, every inch of the way, because Rich Godfrey is challenging him. But the pace of this race, of those two particular leaders, is such that they are pulling away. And look at the gap between second and the remainder. Remember, third, fourth, and fifth place was so close before. Now the gap is quite considerable, giving us 2 races for the price of one, as it were. The 2 leaders having their own private battle, and then the remainder, because the battle for third place, it is anybody's guess. We've got 12 cars there, within, 10 lengths, something like that.
Around goes Greco.
We have a few cars less, I think, with contact. Oh, yes, and we have clobbering the wall in quite a big way. It's got to bring out a yellow. We've got 3 cars, as you can see, right by the start-finish line. And I think their race is virtually run.
You can see Greco get a little bit sideways coming out of turn 4, and that started it all. Boys hopped on the binders, and sure enough.
I will say one thing, old boy. T is ready. Look at the under the hood of that.
Oh, my. Yeah, both cars now.
Yes, that must be radiator hose has gone there.
Well, Boissonneault now your leader, but Greco somehow survived all that. Even to that one.
That's a great shame, because those 2 drivers who we've seen here so many times, such good drivers, you can't put blame on anybody. It's just one of those racing incidents, and it's a chain reaction.
Yes. Now, let's check our leaderboard for you. Brad Boissonneault, the leader in car 36, followed by the 28 of Rich Gautreaux. Running third is Bob Skinger in the 78. Cliff Stakey shown in fourth place in the 66 Connecticut. And we believe it's Tim Smith running next in car 81. 18 cars of our 26 starters still out there. A correction, of our 30 starters.
And the pace car dives to the infield. Here's the green flag. 8 laps to go, and the field is really motoring on now. Brad Boissonneault holding the lead, number 36. And it's 28, 78, and 66 in second, third, and fourth places, respectively, with the remainder of the field not all that far behind them.
Cliff Stakey falls right off the pace as Jim Mavlijanis and Don Wood come surging forward. Now let's see how we stand as we cross the line. Skinger running second, Gautreau third, Smith fourth, Wood now in fifth place, and Mavrogiannis running sixth in the 01. And a challenge for the lead. Skinger looking this way, looking that way. On Boissonneault, unable to find an opening as yet.
The fourth and fifth place men virtually nudging door handles.
Whoa, contact on the front stretch. Alan Hall goes spinning, and it appeared that just about everybody got by him without any major contact.
With just one remaining with a dead engine. No, he's got it going again and rejoins the battle.
But and we've got the green once again. And John Wood in the 51 had a momentary lapse and it cost him, and once again we've got contact. John Johnson involved again, Jim Janeski in the 47, Tom Butler in the 4 Connecticut. Well, hopefully they'll reform in a hurry, pick up the rear, and away we'll go. 14 cars over these 14 laps. And we've got the green once again. Greco manages to rejoin the field, but he's way, way, way back.
Bobby Skinger is really challenging. Look at this, he's taking the lead. He's got the line into turn 3. He should emerge first out of turn 4. He's not got it all his own way, but Bobby Skinger is in the lead. 15 laps completed. Is Skinger into the lead now in second place, Brad Boissonneault. And very little to choose between them at the moment. 15 laps completed. It is still Bobby Skinger, half a length advantage at the moment. But look at the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th place men in such close company. But it's still Bobby Skinger in the lead. Brad Boissonneault in second place. And in third place, who's that? Rich Gautreau. With so little to choose, and place changing again. First and second place men literally side by side approaching turn 3, and I do believe that we're going to see a place change yet again. Brad Boissonneault, is he taking the lead? Yes, he is. Brad Boissonneault retakes the lead. And such is the pace of this race that the first 3 place men are pulling away. There is nothing to choose between them. The order remaining the same at the moment, but I think we're going to see yet another change of leadership as they come through turn 4.
Great action as they come off turn 4 as they swap inside and outside grooves. This time Skinger down low. Boissonneault holding his lead on that outside groove. Let's see, and bobbles just a little bit. Mr. Skinger loses some ground to Boissonneault. That slight bobble cost him. He holds second place, but Gautreau moving a little closer. Stakey running 4th, and it's Wood in 5th place. But here comes the white flag. 1 to go.
And it is still Brad Boissonneault as they go into turn 2 on this, the last lap. You better take it from here, Ronnie.
Yes, here they come. The final 2 turns. It's Boissonneault, followed by Skinger, Gautreau, and Stakey. And it looks good for Brad Boissonneault as he comes off turn 4 and takes the checkered flag for his first win. Well done by Brad Boissonneault, holding off Bob Skinger, outdueling him over the last 4 laps to take the victory. A strong run by Bob Skinger for second place. Third goes to Rich Gautreau in the 28. Then it's Cliff Stakey in the 66 Connecticut in the 4th spot. And pick up your tickets for next Friday night's Connecticut Classic as the NASCAR Winston Modified Tour returns to the Stafford Motor Speedway for 150 laps of action. Plenty of other racing also on the card next Friday night. And remember, a special starting time next Friday of 7 p.m. So we look forward to a very fine run for him and the victory. All right, well done. Rest of the field piling back to the pit area, and we'll get to victory lane in just a moment with Barry Simons. Hands together, a happy young man as he heads up to the victory circle, and here's Barry.
All the
happily holding his trophies. Brad Boissonneault. Brad,
Thank you very much.
what a lovely drive. It was a
man.
beauty.
It was tough, I'll tell you. I kept looking in the mirror, and I got 5 TA cars behind me, and we're all just as competitive, and it was right down to the last wire, you know. It's unbelievable. It was great fun.
Tell me, Brad, what were your feelings when we had so many yellow flag laps and you were not in the lead? What were your feelings then?
I hope we had yellow flags, because that's where I do my best work.
And you certainly did, and the answer was you got the checkered flag.
Yes, it was. And first time here, home, you know, I won down at Flemington, New Jersey. I didn't get a chance to thank my sponsors, and I'd love to do that right now.
Do it.
Especially TA Engines, especially for giving us the horsepower to win. And all the way, I'm hoping for a championship out of this guy, and I wouldn't doubt it because it's looking good. Bishop's Auto Body and used auto parts, Transmission Clinic out of Willimantic, Snap-on Tools, Gene Codwell, Taz Construction, and my brother who owns the car, my crew for helping us get this ready, and just God for giving it to me finally.
You've enjoyed yourself, in other words.
Yes, I did. Very much.
Brad, again, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you. Just hold the trophies and look at the camera.
And thank you, Barry Simons. And that's the story for tonight's action.